What's up, IndyCar fans? David Land here, bringing you the first review on the road for Indy 500 month, and we're here taking a look at Greenlight Wave 1 of their IndyCar Diecast for 2016. This is the first release of a wave of cars that all came at the same time. We've had a couple other 2016 cars come out this year with the Graham Rahal and Pippa Mann cars, but this is a complete wave of cars. 2 Chevys, 3 Hondas, a really great selection of cars, so I can't wait to take a look at it. If you want to buy these cars, check out my IndyCar Diecast Buyer's Guide. The card will be coming up right there in the corner. And that is the resource to go to find out where, how, and why to buy IndyCar Diecast. It's a great video. Check it out. It'll answer all the questions that you're probably typing in the comments right now. Also, in response, I would imagine, to a lot of the complaints that myself and other YouTube reviewers have been making, Greenlight released a video on how to open the clamshell packaging that these Indy cars come in so that you can reseal the packages and not destroy them. Really interesting video. So again, check out the card in the corner right there if you want to find out how to open these cars without destroying the packaging, because that's a cool thing that they've done, is respond to the criticism they've been getting and showing us, no, you guys are wrong. Well, Sam, you're wrong. That they're the Bobby answer to our the Diecast reviewers, Sam Posey. Well, I'm gonna stop rambling. Let's get these cars out of their packages and take a look at them. So the first car we're going to be taking a look at is Marco Andretti's 27 Andretti Autosport Snapple car. This is very similar to the last year's scheme, but it is a new car. So we will be taking a look at this. Again, check out the video on how to open these packages, these clamshell packages from Greenlight. It's actually a really good resource, but I'm not going to show that on camera because that will take too long. So let's do a fade and check out this first car of IndyCar Wave 1. So here is the Snapple Honda out of its box. This, of course, is on the DW12 body, as all the Hondas will be this year, but of course he was fastest in the first Indy 500 practice, but that was, I think, more due to the Andretti train rolling down the straightaway, using the draft to elevate their speeds quite a bit more. I had imagined we're going to see the Chevy teams catch up quite a bit, and asking a few drivers in the garage area, they were under the impression that Chevy rather, was doing a bit of sandbagging. But we'll, of course, see as this month progresses. It's a beautiful day out today for practice day 3. So we're really going to get to see what some of the teams have today, and then, of course, throughout the rest of the week. So a really cool paint scheme here. Just a couple things to go over real quickly. A lot of sponsors on this car. Won't read them all. There are other people who do that. But you've got the Andretti Viceroy stripe down the spine of the car, which leads into this blue wing here. Another interesting thing, they're trying to put as much of the Honda car or the Honda kit onto this car as they can, so they have the number on the bumper. So that's pretty cool. I think that's a good touch from last year. Cool to see new sponsors like H.H. Gregg on there, and then of course some of the older ones like Mutual of Omaha. But a really cool car. Obviously, if you're a Marco fan, you're going to be picking this up. Let's take a look at this car next to last year's car. And it's kind of hard to tell on the camera, but the color scheme is just a bit lighter on this car versus last year's car, and obviously last year's car has quite a bit more yellow on it, except for this stripe here, the blue that goes down, rather than on the new car where the blue has kind of migrated to the wing end plate. But this is the car. I almost forgot to show you the card. I'm out of practice. There you go if you want to read that. And this is Marco's car. I think it's a really cool car. And let's move on to the next car. Alright, so the next car we're taking a look at is Ryan Hunter-Reay's 2016 Racer. This is going to Honda This car is quite a bit different than last year's. As you can tell, a lot more red on this car than there was last year. It was really just red stripes on this car. This is the first real change we've seen from the DHL scheme since they kind of took over the sponsorship fully from Sundrop. So this is pretty cool to see. A new variance on this car, and I must say I think Greenlight has done a really good job of getting the look and feel of the Honda Aero kit onto these DW12 bodies. I think they're doing a really good job, and props to them, because it's not an easy thing to do. I know they're very similar in their at first glance appearance, but there's a lot of nuances in the kits, in the Aero kits, so it's pretty cool to see how they've done that. Let's take a quick look at the card here. I know there's a lot of Ryan Hunter-Reay fans out there, and they would lament if I did not show them the card. So let's take a quick look at the card, just some new stuff. Obviously, you've still got the red Viceroy stripe, which is actually more like the Andretti's helmets in real life. You've also got sponsors on the top of the little flap there, or not flap, but the aero part that goes in front of the tire. That's very reminiscent of what's done on the Honda Aero kits, but the Honda Aero kits, it's flat, it's not like a curve, so it's a little bit different. And then you've got AutoNation and Butterball, interesting sponsors to see there. And again, you've got the number on the bumper, so that's pretty cool. And then you've got a little tiny UFD logo. I guess they paid this time? I don't know. So that is Ryan Hunter-Reay's 2016 car. Obviously, this is going to be one a lot of people are going to be getting, regardless of the Aero kit that's on it, because Ryan Hunter-Reay is a big-time fan favorite. And speaking of fan favorites, let's move on to the next car in the wave. Here's a car a lot of people are excited about, the gold Aero car from James Hinchcliffe and Schmidt Peterson Motorsports. I believe this car is actually sponsored by Greenlight Collectibles in real life, or at least it was last year. So obviously this is the one that they wanted to get out to the public because they actually sponsor it. The gold on this car is not like chrome, though they are doing a chrome finish 118 like it is in real life. However, that's kind of hard to do on a 1/64 scale car, and I believe if you like vac metallized stuff that's really kind of small, it does wear off fairly easily. So kind of keeping in mind that a lot of kids play with these cars, I think they went with a good decision, and honestly, it looks just fine for me personally, so I don't have a problem with it. Obviously, it's a lot better than last year, which was just the plain black car, and then they went and changed it. Not Greenlight's fault, but more Schmidt-Peterson's fault. So let's take a quick look at some of the detail on this car, because, well, if it focuses, there we go. Obviously, this has a lot of steampunk elements on it, and it's probably going to be something you guys are going to want to check out. Really cool paint scheme with all these flames on it. You don't really notice this on the TV. TV doesn't pick it up too well, but you've got just these all rocket boosters all over the car. It's really, really good paint scheme, if I'm honest. Let's see what we've got on the bumper here. That almost looks like the YouTube logo. It may well be. It's very, very small. Hard to pick up on. Maybe you guys can let me know what that is. No, it's not the YouTube logo. Cool to see Lucas Oil on there, though we do have a bit of a paint chip there. But I will give Greenlight some credit here. They've gotten these cars out a lot quicker than they did last year. I'm not going to complain too hard, because we barely saw any of these cars before pole weekend last year, and they're already out. They were already out on the day of the Grand Prix in some places. So a very good job by Greenlight. Let me know in the comments if you're picking this one up. I know a lot of people are very excited about James Hinchcliffe coming back, and this diecast surely. So let's move on to the next car on the wave, and the first Chevy Aero kit. All right, now we're talking. The first car, the first official scheme from 2016 that we've gotten on the Chevy Aero kit is this, Charlie Kimball's Tresiba number 83, which is of course number 42 in this year's Indianapolis 500. Unclear if that if that number is going to stick around. But Greenlight once again kind of getting the short end of the stick, because last year they changed the paint scheme for Indy just as the Diecast came out, and once again they've done it, this time to a smaller extent, just changing the number. Doesn't bother me at all, and of course that's not their fault. So, but it just looks great on this Chevy aero kit. And of course, the Chevy aero kit just looks great. Though I will admit, it looks a bit busy this year with all the rabbit ears and flaps all over it. But the 2015 version I thought was very, very clean and very nice looking. But obviously, they've done a great job on this car with all the detail work. It's just amazing. We'll take some closer looks at it after we take a look at his little trading card here. And you can pause and read that if you want to. And let's take a close look at this car. Now, we did have a little bit of a chip here on the front wing, so that's kind of unfortunate. So be on the lookout when you buy your diecast for stuff like that. If it bothers you, if it doesn't, then just pick up the first one on the shelf, because this is a great car. It's got the flat black finish with the bright green, which I think is really effective. Looks very nice. And just this Chevy aero kit just really, really looks good. And I just love how the bumpers are done on this car. It just looks very, very good. And then you've got the little hole. I mean, there's just the detail on the Chevy aero kit. Just appreciate that. That just looks amazing. And it's on 1/64 scale model. So just crazy amounts of detail. Most of the car is metal, by the way, including the bumpers, rear wing, everything, top, bottom, side. You know, this is the kind of stuff I love to buy. These Chevy aero kits which are all metal with the rubber tires, freaking perfect. there's no describing how excited I am for this car and the next one that's coming. So let's take a look at that. Yeah, this car is going to sell a lot. The Target Chip Ganassi Racing Chevy of Scott Dixon with the lightning bolt on the side. So very nostalgic for people like me who grew up in the 90s and early 2000s when they ran this scheme full-time in IndyCar racing. Just a fantastic looking scheme, and improves on what was already a great paint scheme from last year for Scott Dixon. Is even better this year with the lightning bolt on it. I absolutely love this Target car, and it looks great on the Chevrolet aero kit. Just fantastic. What can you say? They did a great job here representing the car, and it just looks great in diecast form. It's very hard to say anything negative about it because there really isn't anything negative to say about it. It's just fantastic. Though I will point out a little discovery I made before we do a full-on close-up. Okay, so on both this and the Charlie Kimball car, if it would focus, there we go. Notice the bumpers? Remember how I said they were metal on the Charlie Kimball car? They're not. The bumpers have made a return as plastic. Now, that's not true of the Pippa Man promo. These bumpers are very much actually metal. They are absolutely 100% metal. These are absolutely 100% plastic. So I'm not really sure why Greenlight chose to change this. It's potentially because the bumpers just had a little bit of trouble staying in place with the Pippa Man car, or maybe it's to save money. But they've changed from metal bumpers to plastic bumpers, which is interesting. So a little bit of closer detail on this car. Obviously the lightning bolt is the thing that everybody's going to be looking for, and that's what that looks like on both sides, and you can see as it goes up the car. Not the best lightning bolt scheme for sure, but for the nostalgia purposes of just having it on the car, I'm 100% okay with it, and Greenlight did a great job of representing it. Now, I don't know if this is intentional, but I think it's kind of interesting that they even moved the Target logo down a little bit. I don't know if it's intentional, again, but it kind of gives the impression of the little dorsal fin that the Chevys have to run, mandated by IndyCar. But just look at this thing. It's just fantastic. And look at all them sponsors. These Target cars always have a lot of sponsors, and it just looks very, very good. Very good job, Greenlight. You did an A-OK job on this one. So let's take a look at the whole wave together, and I'll give some final thoughts. So here's the first official wave of Indy cars for 2016 all together. What do you guys think about it? What are you guys looking to pick up? Certainly the highlights of the wave for me are these two Chevrolets, but it's definitely cool to see the work that they put in with the DW12 Hondas to make them look a lot more like their 2016 counterparts. So please leave a like on the video, subscribe for more Indy 500 month, and we'll see you in the next video.